Hello and welcome back to the Broadrun Podcast, episode 18. This time I'm back myself talking after a nice podcast with Ed last time, which was my first guest. Definitely the most listened to podcast we had. And it's the first time that I've really sort of shouted it out on social media. So there was a lot of different listeners. And most people seem to enjoy it. So hopefully going to bring on some other people onto it, especially people that I've been coaching and try and get their sort of perspective on what I've been hopefully teaching them while I've been coaching them, and just all things running in general. Just we have people doing different challenges and different stages of the running journey. So it's always good to get their perspective and sort of how they've been going. Obviously this podcast started just as a way for me to sort of give longer form discussion on things that I'm regularly questioned about, whether that be nutrition during long runs, or whether it be, training load or cross training, or, different things that people ask me, and hopefully I can give a different perspective, and I can sort of give it out to more people. And hopefully you're enjoying it. As always, I like to sort of do things that and go over subjects that people sort of ask me about. So normally I spend most of my days looking into different subjects. If there's something I don't know, I'm really interested to research, and if it's something that I know about, happy to just go a bit off cuff and see how it goes. And today we're going to be talking a bit about something which I've been experimenting with after watching the David Roche podcast on Science of Sport, where he was talking about heat acclimatization. So today we're just going to be talking a bit about that. Obviously, very important for listeners who are people who are in hotter countries, whether in somewhere like the United States or whether you're in, like we are, in the United Arab Emirates, which is really tough in summer, and how you can sort of train your heat acclimatization, and just something that he had tried himself, and I thought I'd give it a go. So a method that he's been using. So there'll be a few different things, studies and stuff that I have looked into and been putting into practice, and what we've been doing. The main focus that I've been doing myself is the use of hot water as a method of a way to help your body adapt to hot conditions. And I know what you're probably thinking, that sounds just like sitting in a bath, and that is pretty much exactly what I'm doing. So 3 or 4 times a week I'm coming home from my runs, and I'm having using a hot bath for anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes to sort of extend that time that I'm exposed to the heat, especially coming back in from a hotter run. It's something that I've been doing. So I'll touch on how I've been doing that and the sort of protocol that I've been using. I think the main thing to say from the top is, working on your heat acclimatization is like a massively crucial part of your training, and a massive part of staying safe when you're going out to race in increased temperatures. I know you might be thinking I'm somebody that maybe struggles. Maybe you've searched for something like this, heat acclimatization. I'm somebody who struggles in the heat. I think it's important to note that this is a trainable asset that you're able to bring on board, and why it's good to train it. If you're somebody that struggles already, this is something that maybe you can sort of get sort of free and easy wins out of it, all for the sort of low cost of running a bath. But basically, so heat acclimatization, just obviously summed up, is just how long your body is able to handle working in heat conditions without sort of coming up with heat-related issues like heat exhaustion. This can be anything to do with like your body not being able to handle like your electrolyte balance, how much you're able to sweat, and obviously one of the main things is like cardiac spikes that you can see. Maybe you've gone out on runs before and seen when you've gone into the heat that your heart rate massively spikes when you go out there. That's something that can be trained and make your body more efficient. So the good thing is, basically, within as little as like 2 weeks to 3 weeks, you can make your body more efficient and better at handling the conditions. We can do this in a number of different ways. So, it's important to always start slowly and slowly increase the intensity that you do it. It's the same with your running. If you were going to go run a marathon, you wouldn't just go out and run 35k. You wouldn't go and do a 20-mile run on week one of your training. You're going to add in it slowly. And yeah, this is pretty good. Obviously, most of the time that people do this, you can do different methods that people use. They use this hot water method that I've been talking about, which sort of I'll touch on in a second. They can use saunas, you can use steam rooms. Something that sometimes people use is layering, which you might go out on a run and sort of maybe you wear jogging bottoms at top, and the purpose of this is not to lose weight. I think that's where this often gets mistaken. I think people watch Rocky and think that the reason that people are wearing these sweatsuits is to lose weight, but ultimately that's not the reason we're doing it. It's to help our body sort of master that heat and start to get comfortable with being uncomfortable in that heat. And it's not going to happen straight away. You'll probably have more bad runs when you're doing it than good runs, but it's definitely something you can do. Obviously, for most people, we have access to a bathtub. If you don't, then I apologise. But hopefully most people have access to a bathtub. So you're thinking, what would I do? What would this heat training look like? So at the minute, I've just been doing, like I said, 3 to 4 times a week, exposing myself to anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes post-session in the bath in sort of hot but not uncomfortably hot temperatures. Basically, this is, a really tough thing to do. If you've set the temperature right, then you'll probably find this a struggle, especially if you've come in from a run. I find it as well. It helps me relax after a run, and normally helps me sleep at night. As when you come out, your body's fighting to get cold. So it's really good. You can chuck some like Epsom salts in there. You can get some nice soaps and stuff, and just really, really sort of go and relax. Important thing to note, if it's post-run, you want to make sure that you've taken in your post-run fueling, and when you go into the water, you also want to make sure that you take in, plenty of fluids. Perhaps you want to look at replenishing with electrolytes, but normally for me, I'm just making sure that I'm taking on plenty of water post getting in, and also during the bath. So this was interesting that he touched on. So checked out the study, basically, which was saying that in 2016 they found that the water immersion of up to 40 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes after a workout can significantly boost heat acclimatization. The participants in the study found that the heart rates and core temperatures during exercise after just 6 days of post-exercise hot water immersion had improved. So obviously, I said before, 2 to 3 weeks, you can see benefits within this study. You're finding that it's, within, just 6 days. So that's obviously really important. Another study that's actually recently happened, which showed that this, I'm going to put the studies in the show notes so you can go and check them for yourself, but similar benefits showed that this method also leads to an increase in plasma volume, which improves your cardiac efficiency in this condition. So this is one of the things that basically I want to touch on, that this is why the reason people call heat acclimatization as like poor man's altitude training. Has similar effects that people see during altitude training, so you can get that with nothing but your bath running it. So so you have, if you want to make sure to be careful when you're doing this when you first start out. Maybe you're not used to 40-degree bath. You want to make sure that somebody, significant other, somebody you're comfortable to be around bath time with, by the way, I must say that. You want to make sure that somebody's around, they know what you're doing, and be careful with it. So, definitely something that's worthwhile implementing. You can do the same thing, actually. I know that Steve Magnus has talked a lot about sauna sessions, where you go in post-run and try and do 10 to 20 minutes in the sauna after. So I know that Dr. Rhonda Patrick was talking about this, about the ability of it to extend your workout. So say you get 20-minute run-in, 30-minute run-in, and if you're able to do 20 minutes in the sauna, it's almost the equivalent of the sort of benefit for the heart as you're sort of going into that same sort of aerobic heart rate that you'd be working in, but without obviously the effects on your body. So you're sort of getting extra workout for no toll on your body. Again, this is important to note that this will be very hard especially if you've been running in the heat and you go into the heat. You can make sure that you sort of appropriately cool yourself down with a nice cool or cold shower before you go in, and then you can jump in there. So yeah, this is something that I recommend. Something that also a lot of people do is like hot yoga classes, but this isn't something I would normally recommend for somebody to do on the same day that you'd run. This is something that you would maybe do on either a recovery day or on a day where you're perhaps doing cross training or something different, or perhaps you get home, take a chance to sort of rest and recover. Because of the intensity of the hot yoga, this can often sort of lead to sort of overtraining, and maybe you won't get the maximal benefit of the training that you did before. So yeah, that's basically just a quick sort of talk on the subject. Perhaps you want to start implementing this, and then hopefully this will make you a stronger and better runner. So yeah, let me know if you plan to go and put this into effect. I'd be really interested to hear. I've definitely felt the benefits over the last couple of weeks. I know the temperature here in Dubai is starting to come down, and most of the times we're sort of seeing just high 20s, low 30s for our runs in the morning. But I definitely feel like this has really helped me. So give it a go. Stay safe, and hopefully you enjoy the podcast. If there's anything else that you want to listen to and you want me to touch on, I'm always happy to sort of field it. So let me know in the comments below what you'd like me to do, or send me a message on social media. Always happy to have a chat with people, especially across on Instagram platform. You can find me on there. Thank you.